Hey, what is going on, Freedom Fighters? Welcome back to another Tyranny Response Tuesday here on Break the Chains Media. Today is Tuesday, August 26, 2025, and I'm your host, Corey. We are going to get into all of the local stuff first, and then we're going to get into all the national stuff in the second, third half of it. I don't even know what it's called, but thanks for tuning in. If it's the first time joining Break the Chains Media, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. We do live streams like this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. Definitely got to check them out. Definitely got to show up and hang out. We do on X, we got live streams. On YouTube, we got live streams. On Rumble, we got live streams. We are cross-streaming all over the place right now. And just really quickly, I just got to make sure. Got to check them out. Yep, I always have to make sure. Last time I didn't, but last week my audio was like staggered off slightly, and I wanted to make sure that we're actually moving and grooving here. I am the producer. I am the content creator. I am the news media analyst and the public figure. I am all of the things here at Break the Chains Media. I do a little bit of everything here. But we are going to talk about the Scottish Shieldmaiden that was wielding blades. Apparently that's illegal out in Scotland, but props to her for defending herself. We're going to talk about the whole concept of self-defense and in a nation in decline, and how the greater United Kingdom has totally collapsed and fallen out there, and I wish them the best. But this brave woman, who now is unfortunately facing legal ramifications for wielding a bladed weapon. We're going to talk about all that. We're going to get into all that. We're also going to talk about the Colorado, wrapping up here, the Colorado special session, and just the general news articles and the typical shifting the blame, projecting that these Democrats do here in the state of Colorado. And then we are going to talk about the Intel acquisition, the 10% stake, this hot contested topic about how government's involvement with private sector, and people are screaming communism, people are screaming fascism, and you know it's a mixed bag. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be frank to you. Even though my name is Corey, I am gonna be frank. Bad joke, I know. But I just wanted to put it all on the table because the CHIPS Act and what Biden's administration was instituting a few years back, and what Trump is doing now, which one really is worse? And we're going to go into all the details about that. And then wrapping up the segment today, we are going to talk about the Chinese classmates and this whole bad take, and how did we go from securing our borders and stopping foreign immigrants to enter our country to we're going to allow over 500,000 Chinese students to come to our country, to come to our universities, to take our seats in our elected offices. Excuse me, not elected offices. These Chinese students are coming over to our universities, stealing our positions where American students should be, right? So we're going to get into all that. But like I said, if it's the first time joining Break the Chains Media, hit that thumbs up button. Talk to me in the chat. I do have a live chat going right now, and I just love having interaction, love having conversation with all of you in this media space. We are the media. We are the news. We have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to get involved, and we have to bring topics and conversations to light. Maybe these are our bigger stories, and a lot of people are covering them. Yes, but let's talk about the nuance and maybe bring a new perspective, a new angle to some of these larger issues. But if you want to follow me, if you want to check me out, I do have a landing page. You can check out breakthechains.media. That is the website. You can hang out. You can check out my articles, check out all of my socials. You can go to Realm Walker Hot Sauce if you want to support the channel. Realm Walker Hot Sauce. Grab your flavor of Norse mythology here. There's a flavor for each one of the 9 realms of Norse mythology of hot sauce. You can go from Niflheim, Asgard, Midgard, Vanaheim, many different flavors. Currently have Asgard in stock. Asgard is in stock. Don't look at that. Muspelheim in stock, and Vanaheim is in stock. I got a few more flavors on the works, but if you are interested, you can follow Realm Walker Hot Sauce on Instagram or you can message Break the Chains Media or myself. You can find it anywhere. I am the person who grows the peppers, makes the sauce, bottles it, labels it, all those things. You're looking at them. So if you want to support the channel, Realm Walker Hot Sauce is the hot sauce for you. Otherwise, we are jumping right into it, folks. We are going back. We are going into it, and we are starting with. Where are we starting? Or we're going to start with. Oh yeah, this is how we started today. So we're going to warm up. We're going to warm up with a feel good. It's a feel good story, folks. It is a feel good story. You love to see it. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's this dude that's been riding his bike around like just an absolute shit canoe, an absolute douche nozzle, completely idiocracy in its fullest form. He was riding up and down the street when people were walking, and he would like wiggle back and forth like in the way of people walking. Well, justice is served in this video, and this is how we start the day, and this is how we start the stream. So enjoy it, folks. Look at this.
He ran at me. Yeah, he's not far. Oh shit.
Boom. Love it. Love it. Yeah. One more time. It is that good. It is that good.
Oh shit.
Just completely tagged. Gandalf, what do we have to say? Gandalf, what do we have to say?
You shall not
Yeah. Yeah, you shall not pass. Absolutely. Slow motion. Look at that. Beautiful. You love to see it. No, this is what you get, though. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Am I right? What a great way to start. What a great way to start the day, start the stream. There's other videos of him doing this stupid stuff on sidewalks, too. But I just thought that was a beautiful, very elegant video. But we are going to jump into the concept of self-defense. We're going to talk about. Yeah, we're going to click on this.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people have already seen this. I know it happened yesterday, but the Scottish Shieldmaiden, she's wielding the blades, and keeping these foreigners off their backs, right? It's probably a terrible Scottish accent. I am sorry. I did not practice it, but let's just watch it because unfortunately, the United Kingdom and these the policies and the legal laws that have put in place puts this young woman in a bad position, because the only way for her to defend herself is to literally grab bladed weapons from home to try to defend herself from allegedly migrant men accosting her. So let's watch this video, folks.
You don't dare!
Yes, you have a knife.
You don't! Hey, I'm fucking perfect! You're fucking bad and
Why are you fucking with us?
These are fucking kid bashers!
Show the
bashers.
knife. Show the knife.
Get
Show
the
the knife.
fuck away from her!
Show the knife. Show the
Don't
knife.
touch her!
That's
Don't
it,
speak
that's
to her
it.
wherever
Show
you
the
want to
knife.
be. Don't touch my life!
Listen to the fucking
Show the
person
knife, that's it.
recording
Don't
them.
fucking touch my little sister! She ain't fucking 12!
She's 12. Is what?
She's
Yeah.
fucking 12
Look at
and
this
you
boss.
just battered me, mate! You ain't like fucking battered me!
Yeah, show the knife.
Yeah, you showed the knife.
Maratha,
Showed the knife,
Maratha.
yes.
What you're doing to me, don't touch her!
Like, look at that. I mean, good for her for standing up. Let's give her a round of applause, folks. Not taking shit. Unfortunately, I'd like to see an update. Let's actually look up. Let's see if there's actually an update to the. How do you look it up? I want to see if there's an update with the legal accusations of this girl, right? Knife magazine. Hold on. Yeah. I want to see if there's a news update Should I read the BBC? No, that's different. That's different. Yeah. Listen, let's reference this article, and then let's tie that into what happened today. Okay? Yeah. Shock as even 10-year-old girls are found carrying knives in the SNP's lawless Scotland. A young person is found carrying a knife every 4 days in Scotland on average, according to police, to stop and search figures, laying bare just how drastically knife crime has spiraled out of control. Well, who's really committing the crime and who's standing for self-defense? Okay? 10-year-old girls are, you know damn well that these 10-year-old girls are not carrying knives because they are committing crimes. I'm pretty sure we can just take the assumption that they're wielding them to defend themselves against the migrant flocks of insane adult men trying to prey on young women in the fucking United Kingdom. Am I right? I mean, I'm just a dude in Colorado. I'm just reporting the news, but you know, the way this Scottish Daily Press, a 10-year-old girl was among 91 cases of under 18s found by police of Scotland to be in possession of a bladed weapon last year. Was that all right? I don't know. Maybe it was like 6 out of 10. I got to work on that accent. The new statistics, which come in the wake of the deaths of teenagers Amen Teckley and Caden Moy, prompted concerns over youth violence epidemic. The two teenagers both died after allegedly being stabbed in separate incidents this year. So this is not tied. See, this article here is not even addressing the migrant crime. Okay? Knife crime rises in Scotland, so SNP cuts funding for projects which reduce incidents. Okay? This is interesting. But here we go. The return of youth team Scotland's youth gangs are back with deadly consequences. Scottish soft touch justice blasted after schoolboy killer cage after just 40 months. All right, let's read this. This is from Human Events. Teen girl charged in Scotland for brandishing axe after she was caught on video screaming at migrant to stay away from her 12-year-old sister. The Scottish Shieldmaiden, the 2025 Scottish Shieldmaiden, right? Police in Dundee, Scotland, had charged a 14-year-old girl after officers responded to a youth carrying a bladed weapon on Saturday evening. Emergency services were called to St. Anne's Lane approximately 7:40. Same article. I want to see if there's an update. Reaction to the video on X mostly favor the girl. Some users noted the video doesn't tell the whole story. That the girl has more balls than most of the men in the UK combined. Where are the men? Well, there are no men. None of the men. The only men that are out there are the ones that are trying to prey on young and innocent women and children, minor girls. Okay, the only men that are prowling about are the influx of migrants, the Mohammeds, the Punjabis, the North Africans. Okay, the Myanmars, all these migrants from non-European countries, right? This brave girl is a type of refugee I want coming to America, said Rep. Majority Taylor Greene. I can't comprehend what type of government won't protect her and refuses to stamp out the mass rapings. Okay? Statistics show the homicide involving sharp instruments decreased from 57 in 2008 and 2009 to 28 in 2023 and 24. Hospital admissions linked to knife assaults have also fallen in the same period. Knife crime in Scotland had dropped over the past 15 years, but police and community leaders warn of resurgence in incidents. Like that article I just read. How interesting is that, right? Oh, the police are reporting there's a resurgence in incidents involving young people. Despite that progress, police data indicates that more recent increases in knife possession and among minors. In 2024 alone, 91 under 18s were caught carrying bladed weapons on average of every 4 days. That's the article I literally just read. How interesting. But there is no update as far as this Scottish Shieldmaiden warrior standing up and keeping these fucking creeps away from her. I just think it's wild. We live in a world where there's a bifurcation of society where some people are saying, this girl, it's dangerous that she's wielding these weapons. Like, the country that she's in, the political structure and the political apparatus and the police there are saying that this is dangerous, that young people and youth are wielding bladed weapons. That is dangerous. It's an increase. Meanwhile, they're not addressing the real issue to blame, right? What is the real cause of this, right? What is the real cause? Let's go back to here, right? Okay, we're talking about the preservation of self-defense, right? If we don't stand with this type of energy, keeping this energy,
Soda knife.
yeah. Look at this. Okay, if we don't stand with this kind of energy in America, we lose what the Democrats and the left are already trying to take away from us. We have our Second Amendment right here. We have a right to defend ourselves, right to bear arms. And every day they try to chip away from us. Okay? If we don't stay vocal, if we don't stay loud about our rights being eroded here in America, we are one of the few countries that have the privilege and the right and the preservation to defend ourselves. The right of self-preservation, right? The right to bear arms. They have to resort to bladed weapons. What a shame. Okay? She's an absolute legend. Okay? Damehood. Look at all this. This is great. These photos are awesome. This is great. I'm gonna that gets a like from me. Yeah. Walking around with a hatchet. Okay? That is absolutely correct. You know, this is the area in which we need to, you know, we need to have this kind of energy at all times, folks. Okay, Alicia Garcia here. We're talking about Second Amendment. We're talking about self-preservation. Alicia Garcia on X, Boomstick Babe, bringing it to the people of Colorado. She's the co-plaintiff in Garcia versus Polis, suing against the unconstitutional 3-day waiting period to obtain your firearm. Colorado is part of the 10th Circuit Court with other states such as New Mexico. This past week, the 10th Circuit preliminary enjoined the 7-day waiting period for New Mexico, deeming it unconstitutional. This is excellent news for my case, and I wrote an article discussing just that. Check out the article here. Alicia Garcia is a Second Amendment fighter in the state of Colorado, and this is the kind of energy that we need to retain and preserve, because if we don't, we end up with our daughters and our children having to wield weapons and potentially have legal actions against them because of the unconstitutional way that the state enacts their self-defense laws, right? So, with that being said, we are moving right along. We are moving forward in this because it is important to retain our preservation, to preserve our rights of self-defense, and I wish this Shieldmaiden the best of luck. I wish this Shieldmaiden all she has and all the will and the fire in her belly. We need to preserve the energy like this. Am I right? Another shout out from Gandalf in the back.
You shall not
That is the energy we need to retain. You shall not pass. Right? That is what we need. That's the energy we need. Absolutely. Okay? 100%. Oh, yeah. So, folks, if you enjoy this kind of content, if you enjoy my 2 cents, give me a thumbs up. Share this video. Be a part of the Break the Chains media movement. I don't know what to call ourselves, but Break the Chains media is bringing it to the people. And I want to make sure y'all are aware you're all part of this ride. So I appreciate you and I welcome you. But this is the article here that we're moving right on to Colorado politics. We're moving right into some local news here on Tyranny Response Tuesday. Give it a thumbs up. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. Colorado Marxists just voted to keep spending $4.37 million of our tax dollars to abort babies, drain $300 million from the general fund with no plans of repayment, and raise taxes on small businesses here in Colorado. That is what the Colorado Democrats have just an example of some of the things that they were doing these last few days in the Colorado special session. Okay? You are all the worst and always shifting the blame. While Governor Polis posts this article or posts this here, Governor Polis says the only reason we're here, the only reason we're going through the special session and even talking about cuts is because of the federal law H.R. 1, the big, beautiful bill, which gutted the state budget by over $1.2 billion. Oh, it gutted it, huh? Oh, that's what gutted it. Not, and I'm bringing receipts, folks. I am bringing receipts. And increased the federal deficit by trillions of dollars to give tax breaks to big corporations and threaten for funding schools, roads, and healthcare. Okay? I've got this article pulled up, but he's a goddamn liar. Okay? Goddamn liar. This is all part of what's happening here in Colorado. I have the article pulled up. Okay, this blue state is the first to grapple with the mega bill response from Politico. Look at that little shit stick weasel, fuckbag Polis, garbage human, garbage. Democrats have been warning for months about President Trump's big beautiful bill would wreak havoc on state budgets, but Colorado is the first state to call lawmakers back to the Capitol to grapple with ramifications. In a special session that began Thursday, Democrat-led state legislature considering bills to cover budget gaps of roughly $1 billion, taxes, reallocating funding, tapping the state's reserves. Okay? The only reason I'm not going to keep talking about that, okay? Same stuff. Colorado response will likely serve as a preview for how other states will address the financial ramifications. Oh, ripping off the Colorado taxpayers? Okay? Colorado legislators and the governor told Politico that the special session was necessary because of the changes to the federal tax code. Bullshit. To address the shortfall... Okay. Hold on. I love how they're spinning this. Ready? Which the state tax code is tied to. Yeah, Colorado state tax code is tied to the federal tax code. Are estimated to reduce the state's income tax revenue by as much as $1.2 billion. That could create a deficit of about $700 million in the budget passed in April. Add on funds to fill in cuts to school lunch programs and soften the looming rise of health insurance premiums. Those are directly resulted by Colorado passing laws that they passed in the 2025 session, and I've got the receipts here, okay? To address the shortfall, legislators are proposing a range of solutions: selling tax credits, reallocating funds from less critical programs like the reintroduction of gray wolves. Yeah, no one should have fucking introduced gray wolves to our state. They're already dying. The wolves are already dying, and they're already wreaking havoc on cattle ranchers. Okay? I'm not going to read this whole article, but we're going to go over here, okay? So, what did they say? It was a $1.2 billion shortfall deficit, okay? From the Colorado Sun. This was written on June 18th. Okay? In the best case scenario, the legislature is projected to face a $700 million hole next year if it wants to maintain its current spending plans. But that's assuming there's no recession and the current version of the Republican federal spending plan doesn't pass. So this was written before the big beautiful bill was even passed. Colorado faces a tough budget year of a $700 million hole. Okay? Colorado is being ran by Democrats, ran by progressives into the ground financially. They are financially mismanaging the way our state is being run. Okay? Colorado lawmakers are projected to have up to $150 million more to the budget next year. That may sound like a lot, but the budget will quickly be drained by year-over-year increases on the state's current spending level and upholding promises about increasing education funding. Economic activity is slowing, and that's expected to take the effect of the amount of money available to pay for property tax breaks for seniors. And don't forget the money the state plans to pay to honor a $350 million law enforcement funding ballot measure passed by voters last year. So the fact is that the voters want one thing, but the legislators want another. Okay? The Republican budget bill being debated in Congress could cause problems that could eclipse all of those and drags on other state finances. The governor's office believes that the measure could erase much, if not all, of the 150. So this article is writing that there was a projected surplus year over year, but because Colorado spends so much, because Colorado lawmakers and the Democrats want to reallocate and redistribute our money in different ways, in conjunction with how the in conjunction with how the taxpayers vote for law enforcement increase, but the legislator wants to spend more money on abortions and to fund illegal immigrants' health care programs. Okay? 38% of Colorado's budget goes to medical, state-funded medical insurance. Whether it's abortions, whether it's transgender surgeries, whether it's illegal immigrants getting state-funded medical, 38% of our budget goes to state-funded Medicaid. Okay? Denver 7. Colorado facing nearly a $700 million budget deficit next year. Okay? This was written December 24th. 2024. This was written Christmas Eve last year. Okay? When Colorado lawmakers return from their holiday break to start the new legislative session, they'll have to come up with a way to fix a massive state budget shortfall. The latest projection shows the state will face nearly a $700 million shortfall. That's a slight improvement over the earlier forecast, which estimated the shortfall could be nearly $1 billion. This was written last year, December 2024. Okay? And yet the Colorado State governor and the Democrat-run state legislator continues to shift the blame on Trump. Okay? This is how they fucking lie to you. This is how they lie. Do you see this? I'm showing the receipts. I'm showing how it happens. Thumbs up in the chat. Share this if you like and you know what I'm talking about, because I'm sick of the Democrats pulling the wool over our eyes. I told you all I would hold them accountable. I might not be down at the Capitol, might not be down there every day filming, but I'm here pulling the reports and pulling the receipts. Okay? December 2024. Colorado Governor Jared Polis attributed the shortfall to a combination of declining inflation and increasing Medicaid expenses. I wonder why Medicaid expenses are going up. It's almost like there's a lot more people that shouldn't be getting Colorado Medicaid. It's almost like government Medicaid is funding people who aren't actually Colorado citizens. That's really weird. It's almost like elective trans surgeries are going to going to the Colorado government, and they're spending money on elective surgeries when they shouldn't be. Interesting. Medicaid accounts for 36% of the state's total operating budget and 32% of the general fund spending. Look at that. God damn, I'm good. I was 2% off with my numbers. This is also from 2024, but the numbers I got were from 38% of the state's total operating budget goes to Medicaid. Okay? This is how they lie. All right? And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. All right, folks. I could keep talking about it, but we're going to shift gears here. If you like Colorado news, if you're from Colorado, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Share this video with another Colorado resident. We're bringing you unfiltered, real factual news. Break the Chains Media. That is what we do, okay? It's all in the name, folks. Break the Chains Media. We're making it different. We're bringing it to you. We're real people doing real news, doing real articles, real conversations, real opinions. Because that's what I enjoy doing, and I hope you like it too. Thumbs up in the chat. Share this video. Give me a thumbs up down on the videos too. I'm on X. Break the Chains M. I'm on Rumble. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. Find me. Message me. Say hello. Welcome to the channel. Welcome. Okay? We're going to keep rolling. We're going to keep rolling, though. Where are we? Where are we? Oh, are we already at the top? No, that was that. Yeah. Oh, we going to yeah, hold on. I got to switch to this. I got to switch to this cuz I got to look up got to look it up. What is it? How do we look it up? Chinese classmates? No, are we going to do the CHIPS Act? Oh yeah, let's just knock out the CHIPS Act. I want to make sure I can get. Ha! Yeah. 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 This is all great information. This is all great information. Beautiful, amazing. Yeah, that is that's the next story. We got the next story, but we are going to talk about the CHIPS Act and what it means for. Hold on, let me just do this because I like these, but I don't want them in my window right now. It's all in real time, folks. I'm the producer, I'm the editor, I'm the content creator, I'm the character. I'm all here for you. Okay, we're going to read this article from Forbes though. Trump says Intel will give a 10% stake to U.S., becoming the third largest shareholder. All right, what do we think, folks? Is it fascism? Is it communism? Let me know, because a lot of people have their own hot take, and we're gonna drop ours here too. President Donald Trump on Friday said the Intel agreed to give 10% U.S. stake in the company, making the U.S. beleaguered chip maker's third largest shareholder and one of the largest government interventions in an American company in more than a decade. Trump said in the agreement, representing a 10% stake worth roughly $10 billion, resulted from his meeting with Intel CEO Lip-Bu Tan last week, telling reporters Friday, I said I think it would be good having the United States as your partner. Or was that him or Trump? I don't know, but I read it like Trump, whatever. The deal will likely require approval from Intel's board of directors. A 10% stake would represent the third largest institutional holding in Intel, behind 13% stakes held by BlackRock and Vanguard. Interesting, huh? Would you look at that? Birds of a feather flock together. Is America a corporation? I think it is. America operates like a corporation, right? So it's a corporatocracy, or klepto corporatocracy. I don't know, but I've called America a corporatocracy for a very long time. An agreement expected to be formally announced later Friday would boost Intel, which has been left behind in its competitors in the chipmaker industry, Trump said. Shares of Intel rose more than 6% to below just $24. Wait. So a share of Intel is only $24? Really? Huh. Earlier this month, yeah, so this is facts, tangent, background. I'm not going to read this whole thing. So this is from Forbes. This is from Politico. We're ripping through it here, folks. And then we're going to talk about how that contrasts with Biden's CHIPS Act and where they both kind of lie together, right? Trump's White House takes $10 billion stake in Intel. And I'm not going to read if it's the same thing, right? I want to read some flack. I want to see yeah, we're going to read this from Rand Paul, okay? The unusual deal drew scattered criticisms from Republicans who saw it as violating free market principles. I don't care if it's $1 or $1 billion stake in an American company that starts feeling like a semi-state-owned enterprise a la Chinese Communist Party, said Senator Tom Tillis from North Carolina. In comments that surfaced Friday, you're going to have to explain to me how this reconciles with free market capitalism. Senator Rand Paul also publicly criticized the plan this week. Intel, which has struggled to compete against the global chip-making rivals, was the largest recipient of the CHIPS Act's funds. It continued business problems as well as congressional inquiries from CEO from Intel. The Trump administration is taking a heavier hand in the microchip industry overall, including a deal to let NVIDIA and AMD export high-tech chips to China in exchange for paying Washington 15% of their revenue. Okay, so that's interesting because AMD and Nvidia are paying DC 15% of their revenue because of the CHIPS Act, okay? As with the Intel investment, it's unclear how the government would administer the novel arrangement. On Friday, several Democrat legislators introduced a bill to limit Trump's ability to change policy on high-tech national security without consulting Congress. But without Republican support, it's unlikely to move further, okay? 2 years later, this is from August 9th, 2024, we're going to talk about the CHIPS Act and what the CHIPS Act actually was supposed to do for America, and how this 10% stake, which one's worse, and how would you rather have a government operate, okay? Because we're going to compare what Biden did and how Biden brokered a deal. Was it really Biden? Well, again, that's a whole tangent. That's a whole other argument. But if it was really Biden, if it wasn't, I don't know. 2 years later, funding from CHIPS and Science Act, creating quality jobs, growing local economies, and bringing semiconductor manufacturing back to America. This is from commerce.gov. This is from the U.S. Department of Commerce from August 2024, August 9th, 2024. This is current Biden administration, commerce.gov, okay? The U.S. Department of Commerce, Biden administration reporting this, not Trump, okay? 2 years ago today, President Biden signed the historic and bipartisan CHIPS and Science Act into law, investing nearly $53 billion in funding to bring semiconductor supply chains back to the United States, create jobs, and support American innovation, and protect our national security. Let's not mince words here. It is important. And America needs to be a competitor and a leading market investor and a producer of chips and semiconductors in the global market. We have to have a foothold in that. And it's there might be ways that we have to be a little bit more aggressive in how we do it. So with that being said, it is important. And the CHIPS Act was something that regardless of whatever hearsay you say, it is important, and we need to address that it is critical that America had to be a leading participant in the global market in semiconductor and technological advancements, right? To date, the Commerce Department has announced over $30 billion in proposed CHIPS private sector investments spanning 23 projects in 15 states. These projects include 16 new semiconductor manufacturing facilities, and they're expected to create over 115,000 manufacturing and construction jobs across the country. Commerce is on track to allocate all remaining funds with CHIPS grantees by the end of 2024. As a result of the CHIPS and Science Act, we've made huge strides over the past 2 years implementing the program and amassing private sector interest and enthusiasm, said Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo. Under the leadership of President Biden and Vice President Harris, we're creating good-paying jobs and bringing semiconductor manufacturing back to the U.S. Okay? With these CHIPS investments, America will be home to all 5 of the world's leading-edge logic and DRAM semiconductor manufacturers. No economy in the world has more than 2. As a result, the U.S. is expected to manufacture nearly 30% of the world's leading-edge chips by 2032, up from 0% when President Biden and Vice President took office. Okay? So, these numbers, this plan of attack that Biden did, $53 billion in funding, $30 billion in CHIPS private sector investments. Okay? What is the difference when we're talking about a 10% stake in Intel? Now, this, a 10% stake, is a return on investments. I don't agree with the fact that the government has a hand in ownership of a company. It's not it would not be a ownership stake as far as making decisions, right? having a return on investments is important, okay? But in comparison to the Biden administration, $30 billion in proposed chip private sector investments. 23 projects, 50 states. There is an ROI. There is a return on investments when it comes to manufacturing and creating jobs and being able to build these here in America. That is important. Having a 10% stake means Intel will want to stay in America and want to stay here. I don't like the idea of government ownership of a company, but when we're trying to compete against China, and when we're talking about China sending Chinese students over here and Trump allowing all of this, where are we going, folks? Where is America really headed? Okay? I don't know, but it's interesting, and I do not like when a government starts instituting and involving itself in the private sector. But like I've said for a very long time, America is a corporatocracy. It's a klepto-corporatocracy. That's a long word, but I think it's pretty accurate. A klepto-corporatocracy. And it's been this way long before Trump was in office, way before Biden, and even before Bush. We're talking way, way back. I mean, they have been doing things, since Reagan and Carter, it's a long-standing history of a klepto-corporatocracy, okay? Falling off the gold standard, Federal Reserve, tying back into, here, I posted this, okay? Oh, no, I'll wrap it up. I'll wrap up. But I mentioned something along the lines of, with the Federal Reserve, ending the Fed and the Federal Reserve. It's like giving a haircut to a terminally ill cancer patient. Ending the Fed would be great, but at this rate, we're 5 years away from Agenda 2030. So I think we're going to need a lot more, and there's going to be much more that needs to be done than just ending the Fed, because Agenda 2030 is still on track, and we have to be aware of that. That's my 2 cents on that. But shifting to the last article, the last topic today, Trump administration to bring 600,000 Chinese students to U.S. schools. How do we feel about that? Give me your thoughts in the chat, because I think it's a big old load of bullshit. And what do you have to say, Gandalf? I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Keep those Chinese communists back in the country where they came from. We don't need Chinese students here. Sorry. There's too much screaming evidence that Chinese students that come to America are reporting back to the CCP. Chinese University of Texas student Yuhan Li charged for espionage, theft of trade secrets back in 2019, folks. It's nothing new. Libs of TikTok 5 hours ago. Chinese nationals are required by law in China to gather and provide intelligence to the CCP when coming to the United States on a student visa. We currently have an organized CCP spy ring across our country, and Trump is allowing it. It will more than double the Chinese students studying in America right now currently. Okay? Uncovering Chinese academic espionage at Stanford. This was written May 7th, 2025. Okay? How Chinese infiltrated U.S. universities. The United States will revoke visas of Chinese students linked to the Chinese Communist Party or studying sensitive subjects. This action follows concerns about intellectual property theft and espionage. Earlier, the Trump administration also cited Harvard University ties to China. Why is Trump going back on all of this? This was written in May. Now he's saying the Chinese, they can 600,000 Chinese spies, they can come. It's no big deal. It's ridiculous. Bad Trump. Bad Trump. Okay? From the post-millennial, President Trump met with South Korean President Lee Jae-myung on the Oval Office Monday and took 2 questions from the reporters at Pacific Rim, including Sino-U.S. relationship. Trump revealed that his administration intends to more than double the number of Chinese students studying in American universities. Why in the actual fuck would this happen? President Xi would like me to come to China. Trump told reporters while sitting next to Li, both flanked by multiple ministers. It's a very important relationship, as you know. We're taking a lot of money from China because of the tariffs, different things, and it's a very important relationship. We're going to get along good in China for Trump. These Chinese students enrolled in the part of trade talks. I hear so many stories about we're not going to allow their students. We're going to allow their students to come in, Trump said reassuringly. We're going to allow, it's important, 600,000 students. It's very important. But we're going to get along with China. Why? Why, Trump? Why are we getting along with China? We have no reason to get along with China. We have mountains of evidence
a year into our
saying that we shouldn't get along with China.
and this should shock no one. So the report came out. It said right now in the United States of America at one of our universities there is an organized, orchestrated spy ring. To put this in perspective, when I got here, I said, when I was told that there was a Chinese law in place that required Chinese nationals, including students that come to the United States on visas, and by the way, we take 300,000 Chinese students a year into our universities. There's a law in the books that says they have to provide intelligence gathering and information to the CCP. We also had information in Congress before I even got here that they were setting up these programs to organize spies and push them into our universities using visas. And when I got here and realized that there was no law stopping the visa program, even though we had that information, I immediately launched a bill that would end visas for Chinese students. Now, nothing against Chinese students that want to learn, but if you have a government that is enlisting them, and not just enlisting them, requiring them by law under penalty to be espionage agents when they get here, we cannot keep inviting them into our nation. And so time after time over the last few years, we have found Chinese students with drones, cameras on our military bases, stealing information at our universities, and nothing has been done. So in this...
That is incredible. That is insane. And for Trump to sit there and say that that's a good thing?
President Xi would like me to come to China. It's a very important relationship. As you know, we're taking a lot of money in from China because of the tariffs and different things, and it's a very important relationship. We're going to get along good with China. I hear so many stories about we're not going to allow their students. We're going to allow their students to come in. We're going to allow. It's very important. 600,000 students. It's very important. But we're going to get along with China.
So what about this is a pro America? What about this is America first? Okay, what about this is America first? I want to see. There was a specific clip of Howard fucking Lutnick. Yeah, listen to this guy. Listen to this piece of garbage.
For the Ingram angle, an issue, Mr. Secretary, for.
Really quick. Can we just take a moment all together now? 1, 2, 3. Fuck Howard Lutnick. Fuck this guy. Let's deport this guy back to hell because he's the demon spawn of society. He needs to be deported back to hell where he belongs. Wearing a fucking human suit, scumbag shit.
I think the base of the Republican Party, certainly for the Ingram angle for many, many years, conservatives, is this idea of foreign students coming to the United States and taking spots that would normally be, obviously open to American students. The president addressed this issue as part of the Chinese trade deal, which might be in the offing. Watch.
We're going to get along good with China.
Oh, I don't need to hear this.
Very important.
Keep hearing this.
Mr. Secretary, with all due respect, how is allowing 600,000 students from the communist country of China putting America first?
How is that a good thing?
Well, the president's point of view is that what would happen if you didn't have those 600,000 students is that you'd empty them from the top, all the students would go up to better schools, and the bottom 15% of universities and colleges would go out of business in America. So his view is he's taking a rational economic view, which is classic Donald Trump, looking at higher education and saying,
but why are you
until
helping
we
Harvard?
modify that.
Yeah. That is bullshit. That is insane.
With all due respect, How
I
is
wanna hear
allowing
more.
600,000?
What would happen if you didn't have those
This is the longer
600,000
clip.
students is that
Yeah, Chase Geiser, legend. Did Lutnick really just argue that Trump is letting 600,000 Chinese students into America so Americans will go to worse schools and keep them from closing?
you'd empty them from the top. All the students would go up to better schools, and the bottom
I know we just heard this twice, but-
15% of universities and colleges would go out of business in America. So his view is he's taking a rational
Why
economic
is that
view, which
an
is
aspect
classic
of
Donald
bringing
Trump,
Chinese
looking
people
at
in to
higher
help our
education
economy?
and saying,
But
How
why
is
are you
that
how do
helping
we
doing?
Harvard?
modify that?
That just
What's
helps
that?
Harvard and UCLA and UCal Berkeley and I mean y'all helping those schools. Why? They're like, basically factories of anti-American propaganda. And now they're getting a big influx of cash because of the Chinese students. I know President Trump has always been very pro-Chinese student. I just don't understand it for the life of me.
Why?
Those are 600,000 spots that American kids won't get.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm involved. I'm involved in changing the H-1B program, right? We're going to change
Well,
that
that's a
program
scam.
because that's
Yeah.
terrible,
Yeah.
right? We're going to change the green card. You know, we give green cards. The
Yeah, fuck
average
the
American
H-1B
makes
program.
$75,000 a year, and the average green card recipient, $66,000. So we're taking the bottom quartile.
I would
Like,
love.
what?
There is not a word to describe how much I despise this man, Howard Lutnick. Howard Lutnick is on the same level as much as I hate Jenna Griswold. Like, they're both like the just embodiment of the most slimiest, scummiest. Arguably, I'll take it back. I'll take that back. Howard Lutnick is worse than Jenna Griswold because of his international, the connections of his neighborhood. Let's put it that way. His neighborhood and people who he lived next to for 2 decades in New York City, right? Jeffrey Epstein.
Why are we doing that? That's why Donald Trump is going to change it. That's the gold card that's coming, and that's we're going to
Yeah,
start
fuck the
picking
gold
the
card,
best
too.
people to come into this country. It's
Yeah.
time for that to.
We shouldn't expedite immigration here because you buy $1 million gold card, whatever was it, a $500,000 or some stupid amount of money to just buy your way over here? What kind of people are going to come to America if you just buy your citizenship? Let's vet people. I want the Shieldmaiden. Bring the Shieldmaiden to America. Let her come to our country so she can feel safe in a neighborhood that can be secured by the Second Amendment and the right to defend yourself, so she doesn't have to walk around with a goddamn hatchet and a knife against immigrants who don't even fucking speak English, right? I want her to immigrate to America, not these bought off and paid for Chinese fucking foreign nationals, these Chinese fucking students spying on American universities, American military bases, buying their way here. H-1B visa bullshit. Bring the Shieldmaiden over. Much better immigrant. The quality of immigrants are what matters, folks.
to change.
I think our American engineering students need to be given the first role at every job, and I think they're brilliant when given half a chance. But Mr. Secretary, I know you're juggling a lot of balls over there. We really
Yeah, he's juggling a lot of balls, all right. Draining a bunch of Jewish interest balls. Howard Lutnick's a piece of trash. No, but this is the whole thing, folks. Yeah, we didn't vote for this. Okay.
5 million. Howard's talking. There's 55 million. There's 55 million immigrants in the country on different visas, and I don't want Howard Lutnick, who's a sales guy. You're not going to sell me on this. You're not going to sell us on this. Don't sit there.
No.
First off, the response to the 600,000 Chinese was kind of mind-bendingly ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine this guy as Secretary of the Treasury? Remember, that was Elmo's. That was Elon's boy. He wanted that guy to be Secretary of Treasury. Howard.
Yeah, absolute bullshit. I don't want immigrants. I do not want immigrants to pay their way here. Bring me the Shieldmaiden. Get Howard Lutnick out of the Department of Commerce. Okay. Oh, what's interesting about the big beautiful bill, tying it all in, big picture shit. Big picture shit. We're wrapping up this live stream. Appreciate everyone in the chat. Appreciate everyone in the channel. All the follows, all the views. Share this with all your friends. Give me a thumbs up. We're gonna be raiding another channel here in just a few minutes. But I am wrapping up Tyranny Response Tuesday here on Break the Chains Media. But final thoughts. Howard Lutnick. Ties with Jeffrey Epstein. Neighbors with Jeffrey Epstein. Living in New York. Ties with that whole ilk, right? Now he's the Department of Commerce secretary. He's sales pitching 600,000 Chinese immigrants to come to America, to pay their way, to spy on American universities, to spy on American military bases, report back to the CCP, okay? Promoting this immigrant gold card, buying your way here. We don't want these type of people here in America. We want good quality immigrants who what the value of America is. Americana. First Amendment, Constitution, Second Amendment, defend your rights, liberty. Be a melting pot of values and morality in a good standing way of America. Not this, I don't speak English, I don't want to assimilate to American culture. Okay? Like we started the stream with that shit stick of a dude riding his bike through the road like the douche nozzle that he is. Okay? Captain Cuntface over here flying around, driving through, and gets nailed by a goddamn truck. Okay? Oh, I was watching it, but now we're gonna watch it all together. Captain Shitstick riding his bike through. These are the kind of people we don't want in America that disrespect the way our values here. Okay? Bring me the Shieldmaiden who stood up for herself, who stood up for her rights, even though it was illegal, in her country, even though it was illegal in her country. We have someone right here who stands for values, stands for principle. Bring her into this country. I don't need no Chinese immigrants. I don't need 55 million H-1B visas. This is what I need in America, okay? I don't want communists in my state house. I don't want people blowing our tax money on bullshit, killing babies, pulling out general fund money. It's all horse shit. Folks, I appreciate you. I know I went on a little bit of a rant. Break the Chains is unfiltered, uncensored. Who knows how long I'm going to be on YouTube. But if anyone was watching this on YouTube, I appreciate you. If anybody was watching this on X, hell yeah, share this, retweet this, bring it all out there, okay? Folks, we are wrapping up. I appreciate everyone that was in the chat today. I appreciate what those following Break the Chains Media. Tomorrow, I am going to be doing some on-the-ground stuff. I am going to a Democrat town hall. There will be a Democrat town hall, and I will be reporting. It might be a live stream. It might be a late posting stream, but I will be showing some receipts to these Democrat officials, these Democrat elected people who want to keep pulling the wool over their eyes and blaming, it's a $1.2 billion hole that the Republicans blew. Well, turns out the Democrats are shooting themselves in the foot and lying, gaslighting the public. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. But next Wednesday, put it in your calendars, mark it on your calendars, folks. Next Wednesday, I will be the speaker at Liberty on the Rocks, downtown Denver. Independence Institute, Break the Chains Media presents Localism Over Globalism, Forging Our Future Together. That is what I will be speaking on. That was what I will be addressing. It will be a great time. Liberty on the Rocks, downtown Denver. I'll be posting more specific information about that in the coming days. Follow the channel Break the Chains M on X. Follow Break the Chains Media on YouTube. I'm sorry, Break the Chains Media on YouTube. Break the Chains Media on Instagram. And breakthechains.media is the website if you want to support the channel. Go to Realm Walker Hot Sauce. Read my articles at breakthechains.media. Support my channel, Realm Walker Hot Sauce. I've got some articles I've written. I got to update my articles. I'm not going to lie. All the socials are here. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X. But yeah, dude, we've got a great vibe coming. We're going to stay strong. We're going to keep bringing the truth to light, making sure everyone is aware that you are the change. Be the change you wish to see in the world. break the chains of conformity, break the chains of corporatocracy, kleptocracy, control, the control system, the AI infrastructure that is infiltrating our way of life, that is infiltrating the way people live today and tomorrow. We have to stand together. We have to stand for truth. We have to stand for justice, liberty, and how we want to see our life. We don't want to be living in a world where 12-year-old girls have to walk around with knives and hatchets against illegal immigrants or against undocumented citizens, as the Democrats like to put it. But without further ado, we are going to be doing a raid here. We are going to be raiding the one and only Beanie Cast here. Actually, it's Poso Cast tonight, right? We are going to be raiding, but stay tuned to this channel. Stay tuned to my X, because I would love to meet people. I would love to see people at the Liberty on the Rocks event, not tomorrow, not Wednesday, but on September 3rd, Liberty on the Rocks. And then lot of great things working in the works here. But folks, I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for hanging out tonight. Thank you for hanging out for Tyranny Response Tuesday. As always, fight for freedom and never give up.